Hello, guitar. Okay, today we're moving on to page 20. We're going to talk about this concept called ties. It's a very important music element technique that we need in order to execute certain rhythms in actuality from written music. So, what is a tie? A tie is a curved line which connects two notes of the same pitch. The first note is struck and held for the value of both notes. The second note, on the other side of the tie, should not be played again. The purpose of the tie is to add the value of the second note into the first note. So if I have a whole note here and I tie it to a quarter note, I'm adding that quarter note's value into the whole note. 4 plus 1 is 5. And so this is how we're able to get a note value worth 5 counts, but keep the feel of the music in 4. So if I have like a metronome going in 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and say there was a beat. 2, 3, 4, 1. So what I did is I was changing chords every 5 counts. But we don't count up to 5. We still only count up to 4. So the time signature sets the feel of the music. And a tie is just a way for us to get different values. Now, if we look at the one over here, the tie over here, we see a half note tied to a half note. 2 plus 2 is 4. Remember, we strike this one, but not this one. Now you might be thinking, well, 4, that's a whole note. How come I couldn't put a whole note here? The sound will be like a whole note, but remember that the time or the counts only begin at the beginning of the measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. So a whole note can only be written in 4/4 time at the beginning of the measure. Having a half note tied to a half note when it's starting on count 3 is a way for us to get the sound of a half note, but not at the beginning of the measure, to have it happen here in the middle of the measure. Same thing over here where we see a quarter note tied to a quarter note. 1 plus 1 is 2. Why not a half note? Because a half note can't start on count 2 in 4/4 time. So here, the way we get this feel or that sound of 2 counts while keeping the feel of 4/4 time is to tie a quarter note to a quarter note. So again, review, really important thing to remember here. It's a tie, as we say, like we're tying them together. You strike the first note of the tie and not the second one. You let the second one just continue to ring. What I want you to notice as the metronome is going, notice that on count 1 right here, I'm not going to strike the note. Notice that on count 1 and 2 over here, I'm not going to strike the note, but you'll still hear it ringing from the previous one. Same thing here on count 1, I'm not going to strike the note, but you'll continue to hear it. Okay, this is all the note G on the 3rd string. 1, 2, here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, tied. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's tied, 2, 3, 4. I do have a little bit of effect on here that I should turn off. Okay. Again. 1, 2, 1, 2. Here's how it sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this time I'm going to play it with I and M. This is how I want you to practice it. if you're not using a pick. Remember, the pick is the optional, the mandatory is the alternating I&M, so you should be doing I&M this whole time as well. This is the point in the video where you can pause, practice, rewind, play along, use this point in the video to come back and be able to play along with the video. I'm using tempo 66, I'm playing exercise 42, I'm going to alternate índice medio. 1, 2, here it is. 2, 3, 4, tied, 2, 3, 4, tied, 2, 3, 4, tied, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's the concept of a tie. You're going to use the time and, of course, this video to come back and practice, review this, get this fundamental down, because as you can see, as we go on further, we're going to start using the ties in practicality where they will appear in music. So before we start trying to do this in the context of songs, it's very important that we have the concept and the fundamental down.